This is Building What Matters, a series about the entrepreneurs, leaders, and ordinary people bold enough to take on extraordinary risk, navigate uncertainty, and overcome any obstacle to turn ideas, dreams, and vision into today's reality and tomorrow's future. Building is hard, deeply rewarding work. These are stories of vision, courage, and what it takes to build what matters. Welcome, everyone, to this episode of Building What Matters. Our guest today is Iryna Volnytska, president of the Science, Entrepreneurship, and Technology, or CET University in Ukraine, and she is also the founder of Iryna Cyber. Under normal conditions, very few startups make it. Iryna has spent the last several years building amid Russia's war of aggression. She has defied the odds, building new models for technology education, workforce development, and cyber resilience, preparing the next generation of Ukrainian innovators while surviving and thriving through the dangers of war. Iryna is an inspiration and a powerful example of what this show is all about: turning vision into reality, solving urgent problems, and building what matters for the future. Everyone, join me in welcoming Iryna. Iryna, thank you so much for joining us here. We're in our studios in DC. It's a long way to travel from Ukraine, so we're happy to have you. And we're happy to have you as our first guest on Building What Matters. I want to start off with just sort of orienting everyone to who you are and what it is that you do. You're a friend of mine. I'm a fan of CET University, so the Science, Entrepreneurship, and Technology University in Kyiv, Ukraine. But I'm going to let you introduce yourself and give a little bit of background of the university.
Oh, Cory, thank you for the invitation. It's a great honor for me to be your first guest. My name is Iryna Volnytska, and I'm president of CET University, which is a non-profit higher institution in Ukraine. I launched the university just 2 weeks before the full-scale invasion, but before the education, I had experience in business. So I was a CEO of a big tech company in Kyiv. But at some point, I realized that there is no mission behind this company. Education is like the only thing that matters, because with education, you can actually change the world. Like, the impact scales faster when you educate people. So I came back to Ukraine. I registered the university. And the day I registered the university, I went to vacation on Ecuador. And when I was going back to Kyiv, I had a connection flight in Miami. And this is exactly the moment when the full-scale invasion started. So I stuck in Miami for some time. Like, everyone was telling me that I am crazy, that I'm going back to Ukraine, because from university side, we had only the name and the branding. But the day Russians left Kyiv, I came back to Kyiv and actually launched the university.
Wow. So you're a world traveler, you have perspective, you value education, and now you're the president of a university. Tell me a little bit about CET.
And I'm also not a president, but a founder of cybersecurity startup, which is a spin-off from CET University. So I'm wearing different hats. Again, it's because of the necessity. Like, at the time, we didn't have a choice, so we needed to launch our own cyber range. And this idea just developed in a full circle startup. And talking about CET University, what you need to know about Ukraine is that we have a lot of brilliant engineers, like very strong tech workforce, but we don't have products in Ukraine. What does it mean? That we just resell our engineers to the projects outside of Ukraine. And for me, it was like a huge problem, because I really love my country, and I wanted Ukraine to go not only sell people, not only to sell brains, but to create something inside of the country. And the idea was around education, because in Ukraine, we have strong mass base because of our Soviet Union legacy. We had strong engineers, but they do not know how to build products, how to sell products. And idea for SET University was to teach not only technology, but how transform technology into business. For example, our students, they do not write thesis. They create their own startup as their diploma work. And we don't teach only technology. In each our master program, we have this entrepreneurial track, and all of them, they learn how to pitch, how to sell, how to create product, what business needs, etc. So the idea was like to create this added value in Ukraine. And of course, when the full invasion started, like we saw our mission even like that our mission is even more crucial that we thought before. We realized that it's not only like a physical war, but it's also a digital war. And we started with cybersecurity at that moment.
It's a lot. There's a lot that I want to pull on there. They say that war is, the mother of innovation. How has it driven innovation in Ukraine, and specifically in Kyiv, and then for SET University?
Yeah, when you don't have a choice and you need to survive, you you can become very innovative. And when the full-scale invasion started, we were the first educational institution that started to teach like cybersecurity. We also did like a couple of boot camps for the ideas to develop them into the startups, and we saw like a great potential in our engineers because we already had the engineers. We just needed to help them to come up with the products, and it was like obvious on the battlefield what we need, what we lack. And at the beginning of the war, like no one wanted to help us. Everyone just sent I don't know, like helmets, right, to Ukraine. That's it. Not no one sent us missiles or something. For us, it was about survival, and like when you have a very strong mission behind, you have this great motivation to do all the things. In our case, we have this very short cycle. We can't do this Silicon Valley stuff like fake it until you make it, because when we fake something, like people like literally dies. So this all these innovations, they were like about survival, and like we have this opportunity. I don't want to call it opportunity, but this option to check how it works on the battlefield. So we get like the results really fast, and like when the life depends on your innovation, you do like everything possible just to make it like work correctly. And the same with all innovations in all other spheres, like from electricity, to telecommunication. We are fighting not like a physical war, but also like kinetic, cyber, electronic warfare, and just to have a little bit better life.
Yeah, and then hopefully you're able to keep some of that talent in Ukraine on the backside of this. So, and I want to talk to you just a little bit about that innovation cycle. I've someone that has founded an organization has tried to build it over the years. Building is hard, and I've said if you can't sell things, it really doesn't matter. You could have the best idea, you could have the best technology, but if you can't get other people to buy it, it doesn't matter. And so, with that salesmanship in the U.S. comes a lot of people that can sell but haven't developed very good technology. And so, the success rate of a lot of companies is very low. The success rate of a lot of technologies is very low. One of the things that you can't fake it until you break it or until you make it, because like people die. When you're in that environment, it seems to be a very interesting or a very valuable proposition to say like people who fund entrepreneurs, so our venture capital, our private equity markets, to think about what is happening in Ukraine and to think about how technology is actually being tested, and then they have tried and true tested technology that works on a battlefield. And that, I think, are the products that you're asking them or you're looking for investment in. Can you tell me a little bit about if there are investors listening into this, if there are funds listening into this, how could they get involved in that?
I know that there are like a couple of US funds, like venture funds, that invest only in defense tech and cybersecurity. So like if it's angel investors or something like, and I know that for Americans it's very important to work with other Americans because like you understand, like you have this trust, and I heard that it's hard, like for them it's hard to understand Ukrainians and to find someone to whom they can trust. So I would like recommend to work like again like through Americans. But what you should know about Ukrainian startups. We are not actually very much Ukrainian. Like 90% of Ukrainian startups, they are registered in Delaware. So from my perspective, I see US as our main partner in terms of venture capital, in terms of startups, in terms of innovation. And in Ukraine, we try to do everything according to like the US rules in terms of compliance and like everything else. So like there are like different ways to invest in Ukrainian companies, but there is also a lot of ways to create a joint ventures. For me, it's like the most interesting thing because what you mentioned that okay, you need to know how to sell. You need to sell all the things that you create. In Ukraine, like we are very bad in selling things because entrepreneurship was forbidden for many years during the Soviet Union. For example, my father, like he went to jail because he tried to sell the boots that he received as his salary. And still in our culture, we feel that okay, when you sell something, it's like not good. You can feel like ashamed for selling something. And I know that like in Ukraine, it's like, not in Ukraine, sorry, in USA, it's like a part of your DNA like, to sell. You know, you come to the country and they are selling like everything. You think, oh my God. You are just so good in this selling things. And I believe that like we can learn a lot from each other and like joint ventures where we will take that like the technology part, and you can help with like with the sales with the culture. For me, it's like the perfect type of collaboration now. Again, because I see Ukrainian future also like with US as the main partner because US is fast. You like there are like a lot of capital. You also like willing to take the risk, and in Ukraine we have all of this. Like we already have products, we just lack, we have the execution, but we lack this, I would say like sales expertise and experience. And I'm not sure if we can learn it like really fast.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like that could be a fantastic and lucrative opportunity for everyone involved.
Yeah, you know, like there are some countries that come to US just like to steal technology. And what we want to do, we want to share our technology with you.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like a win-win collaboration.
I want to pivot for a moment. I want to talk to you just about SET University. How can people help SET? And then what are some ways in which you've designed programs for them to be able to do that?
Oh, it's, you know, for me, like again, with my, I was born in Soviet Union. I remember the times. For me, it's like to fundraise money, or like for me, it's like the hardest part ever.
Yeah.
I think like for every Ukrainian, it will be like the same. But you know, like I don't have a choice. For me, it's like a necessity to fundraise. So at least like I started to move in this direction. Maybe not very fast. But
you have a mission. You want to drive
yes,
impact
exactly.
to accomplish the mission.
Yes.
You got to do this
Like,
thing.
because
Yeah.
the mission is bigger than me. That's why I don't have a choice. It's also like the innovation for me, and also by necessity.
Yeah.
Like I would have never done something like this asking for money. Oh my God, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, but talking about SET University, we actually have donors who support the education, who support scholarships, because we have 40% of our students, they have like full scholarship for education. 30% of them are military people. So for us, it's like very important, and to fundraise money for nonprofit initiative. We try what we try to do. We fundraise money like for scholarships for new programs, especially like now we have a new program in unmanned machines, AI for unmanned machines. Like it's like the easiest program to fundraise because drones, Ukrainian drones are very famous now.
Yeah.
So like this is like the easy part to fundraise for this program. But what we try to do as a person that came from business, I also try to figure out how not only to fundraise money, but also how to earn money, like how to monetize our expertise. That's how we came up with the idea of the startup, a spin-off startup. It's actually, the startup helps us to generate revenues to cover the scholarships for military people. So like if you want to help us, it's not only about donations, it's also about helping us to promote our products, especially like cybersecurity services or cyber ranges. Like we have like a bunch of products that helps us to support scholarships. Like all the revenues, they go directly to SET University. There is also the part for the cost. Like we have a lot of Americans who teach at SET University for free. So for us, it's also like a good stream. Like it's not revenue, but like it saves us a lot of money. And actually, our students they get like the best expertise from all over the world. For them, it's also helps to see like different perspective, for example, on cyber or AI.
Yeah. I've spent a lot of years both in school and then teaching. 2025 was a big year in the United States. It's where they call it the cliff in academia, where the number of 18 to 25-year-olds, plummeted. And it created, a lot of scare within the higher education institutions, the universities. I can't imagine in context of a combat zone where like your students, if you're 18 to 25 years old, you're probably on a battlefield.
Actually, yeah, we have some of our students that are currently like fighting. So like they, like you can't even imagine this, but they go for their online lessons, like just directly from the battlefield. Yeah, like they want to learn from the bunkers. Like so they are like sometimes you can hear from the lectures some sounds like explosions.
Yeah.
It's because our students like literally on the battlefield.
Yeah, it's nice to think about a future, and one in where things are better. And education certainly helps make it better and make it at least possible for it to be better. So I'm really excited to be able to just welcome you as our first guest. I would be, I think, remiss if I didn't just turn it over to you and say, as for challenges building, and challenges building in a combat zone or war zone, a large scale one in a city, like what's the single thing you've learned, or like if you had a message to share, and maybe I won't put you on the spot, but I would like you to answer the question, but I would say the things I've learned, and maybe that'll help add context. I think the most important things, we're living in the most uncertain time. We talked a little bit about it before we started this session. The world is the most uncertain it has been at any time since we've measured it. So since 1952, a lot of international armed conflict, your country is at war. People are scared. They're reaching out. They're hedging bets, whether that's at a geopolitical level where one country is maybe looking to have multiple trade partners, vice just one. And people are looking for different sub perspectives. What I have found in DC, so many of the decisions that arrive here to our Congress or to our president, the trade-offs of them are just very real. They're, each one, you know, comes with like winners, losers, beneficiaries, and sometimes, folks that are having something taken away. And like in that environment, and that's so fluid and so dynamic and can be so volatile, I think your values have to keep you grounded. At least that's what I believe. We try to live that in the organizations that I run, and we go by humility, where you just have to be humble. Like you're not going to know it all. It's a big world. There's a lot of stuff going on. The more technologically advanced we become, there's going to be people building exquisite capabilities that like no one's going to understand, but a handful of engineers. So you have to be humble. You have to be empathetic. Empathetic is you have to be able to put yourself in somebody else's shoes and like see things from their perspective. Sometimes that's hard. It's especially hard, I think, whether it's different cultures, different areas, different backgrounds. But if you can be humble, it opens you up to the possibility of being able to see the world through somebody else's eyes. And then lastly, you have to be resilient. It's so a hard world. And even when things, a decision here goes the way that you wanted it to, or it comes with tremendous consequences. And guess what? Tomorrow, it's all gonna happen again. And so if you're humble, it grounds you. If you're empathetic, it connects you. And if you're resilient, it keeps you going. That's kind of my big takeaway anyway. I don't know like how you think about it. I imagine you have a ton of lessons, but what is one that you were, maybe a handful of ones you'd want to share?
I live at a country at war, and what I realized is that like this war would have never happened if people had like critical thinking. So for me, it's very important to have this critical thinking. And the second most, I think like it's not even the second, it's like the first most important thing, it's ethics, because now in Ukraine, we have a lot of data, for example, from the battlefield. We have a lot of defense tech startups that use this data. And like at some point, the war in Ukraine will be over. And we still have this strong defense industry. And we need to do a good use of these startups, a good use of this data. And I would say there is also a third thing, it's problem solving. When you live in a country like Ukraine, like you have like this, like different level of problem solving.
Yeah.
Your whole day starts with like solving the problem, how you will cook the breakfast without electricity, or how you like do the coffee or something. Then you try to solve how you like work, then how you build your company, how you fundraise money, like when no one wants to give money for the country at war.
Yeah.
But we saw like what I actually saw that these times this time produce a lot of problem solving. And problem solving, it's about entrepreneurship, it's about startups. And I believe that this generation of Ukrainians, like we will be very strong in building something great. So like this is a generation of builders, because we know how to solve problems. We can think because of all this like, disinformation, misinformation campaigns in Ukraine. And because of this terrible situation, we like understand what is ethics and like what unethical behavior can lead to.
Iryna, thank you so much for joining us. It means the world to me. And best of luck on the return trip and in everything you're building at SET University. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and thank you for inviting me and actually supporting like for almost a year.